Hello, and welcome, dear friends, to Shayla Shivers, Theater of the Mind. I'm your host, Louis Graves. The price of entry is a mere quick stop at the like button, and remember to subscribe and ding that notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes. Every journey begins with anticipation, and as always here at the theater, we pull at the edges of time and bend the threads of reality. Sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy the show. And so, without much further ado, I give you the ever-alluring Shayla Shivers.
A Honeymoon to Remember. As Jessica and Mark drove down the winding country road, the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a warm golden hue over the landscape. The car was filled with laughter and the sweet sound of their favorite songs. Their hearts were light, each mile bringing them closer to a destination that promised romance and adventure. "Can you believe we're finally married?" Jessica exclaimed, glancing at Mark, whose eyes sparkled with excitement. "I know. It feels like a dream," he replied, gripping the steering wheel with enthusiasm. "Just you and me, together." They had planned this getaway for months, an idyllic retreat to a charming little cabin nestled in the mountains. As they drove further from the city, the scenery transformed into rolling hills and lush forests, a perfect backdrop for the beginning of the rest of their lives. Suddenly, they spotted a bubbling spring at the side of the road, its crystal clear water glistening as the light reflected off of its surface. Mark turned to Jessica with a grin. "Want to take a quick break? We could stretch our legs and enjoy the view." "Absolutely," she replied, her eyes lighting up with excitement. They parked the car and walked hand in hand towards the spring, the sound of the water creating a soothing melody. After spending a few moments enjoying the tranquil atmosphere, they decided to take a short walk to see the nearby lake, which was rumored to offer a breathtaking view. A slip into the past. As they strolled along the trail, the trees whispered secrets overhead, and the air was fragrant with wildflowers. It was a perfect moment, a snapshot of their love against nature's canvas. When they finally reached the lake, it was even more stunning than they had imagined. The water shimmered like glass, reflecting the vibrant colors of the sky. "This is incredible," Jessica breathed, taking in the beauty around her. Mark wrapped an arm around her shoulders, pulling her close. "It's just us and the world. I could stay here forever." After a while, they reluctantly decided it was time to return to their car. As they retraced their steps, the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows on the path. They laughed and reminisced about their wedding day, their hearts full of joy. But as they approached the spring nearing their car, a strange feeling washed over them. The air grew thick, and a low rumble echoed in the distance. Mark paused, sensing something was off. "Did you feel that?" Before Jessica could respond, the ground beneath them trembled, and the world around them began to blur. Colors swirled like paint on a canvas, and suddenly the serene landscape was replaced with chaos. What is time? When the world came back into focus, Mark and Jessica found themselves standing in the middle of a bustling marketplace, surrounded by people dressed in clothing from a bygone era. The distant sound of a horse's whinny and the clanging of metal filled the air. "What just happened?" Jessica asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know," Mark replied, stepping forward to take in the extraordinary yet unexpected sight. "I think we've traveled back in time." They wandered through the market, their minds racing with disbelief. They marveled at the simplicity of life and the absence of modern technology. But as they explored, the realization hit them. How would they return home? Time seemed to stretch and warp around them. They felt the weight of their predicament settle in, but knew they had to somehow fit in, at least for a while, in order to understand this strange world they had entered. "Let's try to blend in," Jessica suggested, scanning the crowd. "We need to act like we belong here." Mark nodded, and they approached a nearby vendor selling handcrafted trinkets. The vendor, a cheerful old man, smiled warmly at them. "Ah, newcomers. Looking for something special?" "Just browsing," Mark replied, trying to sound casual. As they engaged in polite conversation, the two learned about upcoming community events and got a snapshot of the locals' lives. They listened intently, absorbing every detail. The couple kept their strange situation a secret from the vendor. "Have you come for the festival?" the vendor asked, his eyes twinkling with excitement. "What festival?" Jessica inquired, looking around curiously. "The Harvest Festival. It's a time of joy and celebration. You must stay for it," he said, gesturing animatedly. The couple exchanged glances, realizing that immersing themselves in this experience might provide them with the answers they were seeking. Festival of Fools. As the festival activities carried on around them, they found themselves being drawn into the merriment of the townspeople. Colorful banners decorated the streets, and laughter filled the air. It was a brief reprieve from the weight of their situation, allowing them to revel in the joy of the moment. But as the day turned to dusk, dark clouds began to gather ominously on the horizon. Jessica felt a chill run down her spine. "What if we can't find a way back?" she whispered, her voice tinged with worry. Mark squeezed her hand reassuringly. "Let's focus on enjoying the festival for now. We'll work on that a little later." Just then, a loud crack of thunder echoed across the sky, causing the crowd to gasp. The atmosphere shifted, and a sense of urgency hung in the air. As the first drops of rain began to fall, Mark and Jessica spotted a flickering light in the distance. Could it be the key to their return? With their hearts racing, they sprinted towards the light with sudden storm raging around them. But as they reached it, the world began to swirl and twist, the ground trembling beneath their feet. "Hold on!" Mark shouted, but the light flickered ominously, threatening to vanish. In that moment, uncertainty hung heavily, leaving them to wonder. Would they make it back to the present, or would they be lost in time forever?
Well, there you have it, dear friends. A love story woven in the fabric of time. And so, until next time, I'm your host, Lewis Graves, and that was Shayla Shivers, Theater of the Mind.